Hello everyone, and welcome to the next hand solo Endor stream. So we got pretty far last time, which is kind of cool. Did quite a lot of work of it off screen. So we've now got quite a bit of the coat to do today. Let's just share this on the old Instagrams and whatnot. Let's copy that link. There we go. Oh, I got some new followers. Who are these people? Oh, they seem jolly nice. Right, okay. Give me a minute. Right, there we go. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay, which is kind of cool. And we'll put that screen there so we can kind of see. I think I might try and get the PlayStation on today so that I can see this, because I'm pretty sure I've got the chat on screen, which should hopefully make it a little bit easier. But there, let's have a look. I'm really annoyed because it's like a really proper square window now. Like, I feel like I kind of need to proper tape this off, because obviously if it's out of the window, you guys aren't going to be able to see it, which is a bit naff. Like, I don't know why that's happened. It feels like StreamYard has just randomly decided that it is like, oh, we should be like out here, but now we're just going to do this. And I've looked online and it's like everywhere saying it's just like a StreamYard bug. So I thought, oh, that's marvelous. That is, everyone. Marvelous. But alas, we shall work with it. Just wait for people to filter in. I might try, have a cunning plan that I might tape off an area so that we can see where the shoot screen is, so I can try and frame everything a little bit better. I'm just trying to find out where the hell did I put my tape. Right, well, we'll use, as the old phrase goes, we'll use this until we can find it. Oh my god, it's so bad. Right, over there, Han Solo. So yeah. This, you're joining us now as me doing the most technically advanced, totally not bodge job of trying to work around bloody StreamYard's bug of making this really small window of where I can work with. So I'm thinking if we can have it like that, and then I should know where the camera's looking. If you can hear banging upstairs, by the way, that's because Lubu's, I think she's chasing after a moth at this point. She doesn't like moths, so she's desperately trying to get rid of it. So at some point I might have to go and join the mobile infantry to squash some bugs. Right, okay. Let's just double check. Yeah, I know, PlayStation. I know you're not happy because I accidentally unplugged it whilst it was plugged into the wall. So it's not happy. Not happy in the slightest. Do 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 do. Na, na, na. Right, so we got Han quite far from where last time we did some work off screen because I wanted to try and fix a bit some of the boots. So we've gone in and focused on doing a lot of the pants, which was done by glazing two different types of brown to get the kind of chocolate kind of color that we have here. And then we've done the yellow things. These were a proper pain in the ass. But what I did was I went over with a fine brush and just painted over the ridged areas some white. And then we put like a glaze of yellow over the top of it. So it's kind of like colored them to just the right color of what we need. Which is worked just fine. Sorry, I'm just messing about with trying to get the stream on screen so I can see the chat without relying on my phone, because last time the phone kept turning off and the battery's dead, so I guess we'll just have to use the phone then for the time being. Happy Friday, cheerio, pip pip, tally ho, chocks away, Bob's your uncle, and all that malarkey. Right. Oh, God. Right. Okay. So, we also did the belt work as well. Now, like, I was basically showing obviously some progress pics online, and Cameron Customs made a good point that we might need to make this a little bit more glossy, slash a bit more shiny on this bit here. So we might have a bit where we could try and we could either put some. He suggested Owlclad on it, which is a good shout. I've got something that's similar to that. But I think what we'll do is before we even go any further with that, we'll basically check whether or not did the actual costume prop, was it really shiny, or was it like a dull polished metal? So what we'll do is we'll basically get the reference material, which is currently over there at the moment. Please do let me know if the audio quality is okay, because I'm using my clip-on mic. It's finally working today, which is extremely helpful. So there's not much inside the reference book. There wasn't much in the way of Endor Han. I'm gonna have to reference it again today because we're gonna paint the actual Duster trench coat today. So that's there. Let's put a pin in that one so that we can reference this back later on. I should. Well, I'm glad. Right, let's do that. Okay, so I'm using as a bit of a reference for this one the Empire Strikes Back, because I want to see roughly how the actual film prop itself. Okay, so you can see here, it's kind of, I would say it's not very shiny. It's not like a polished chrome or anything. It's more of like a brushed steel kind of look. Kind of there with that one. We don't need to make it super shiny. So this steel kind of, which is pretty good. I was really happy with because we did like the leather yesterday as well. So we've gone in where like the center, we've got the edges that are a bit dark. Yeah. And I know the shit internet. Right, we'll do that. Okay, cool. We the I was able to there with bits of light on the edges where it's been cut, and then bits of scuffs here, there, and everywhere. So Endor hand definitely has that now, which is going to be really cool. Right, okay. Is the stream quality really bad? Because I think the internet might just be absolutely shit in the bed at this point. I think I might need to alter. I might need to alter that because it doesn't look very good at this point, does it? Let's have a look. Yeah, it doesn't look great, does it? Ooh. Let's have a look. Apologies, everyone. Let's go. Okay, much better, much better. Okay, let's get a move on, shall we? We don't be plagued with technical difficulties all night. So we've got him ready, we've got him good to go, which is kind of cool. Put my chat there so I can see the chat. If anyone says anything, and now let's get the duster. So we'll move hand out the way at the moment. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to go and do the owlclad, I think, on this one, because looking at the metalwork, it's like a brushed steel. It's not super shiny. So we'll leave that right in the app for the time being. So this bit's all done. If you do have any questions, just ping in the chat and we'll move on to this duster. So we've got the duster itself, and then we've got the sleeves to do as well. Hey Lou. Hey Lou Boo. Did you get the moth? Did you manage to shoo the moth out of the bedroom? Because I know you don't like moths. Right. So as we were looking at yesterday, we were looking at the base color material for the duster. It's like a whitish kind of color. Now, to try and accentuate some of all these details that are in the sculpt, normally I would put like a light pass on it, but there is a part of me that's a kind of worrying, like how much of a light is the light pass going to show through. But I think given the fact that we're going to put like a white kind of a creamy color on top of it, and then we're going to basically airbrush over the top of it. But I think what we'll do is we will do like a shadow highlight pass first, so that we can get the directional light going down to try and highlight some of the upper areas. And then obviously on the sleeves as well, we'll be doing the same things with the sleeves. So we will do that. We'll get like an airbrush pass to that on the go. And then that way we can move on to adding some of the airbrush colors as well. I'm probably going to have to completely repaint this anyway, the jacket on the inside. So I'm not too concerned about that at the moment. But let's get our primer. We use matte white primer for this stuff at the moment. And I'll get my airbrush. Okay, yeah. Get some airbrush cleaner, see how that's actually doing at the moment. So, okay. Yep, that seems to be working quite good. So I'm happy with that. Let's just get that on the go, shall we? Right, okay, so that's there. And now let's get a cup. Draw. Where is the draw? Okay. And we're gonna thin down using the matte surface primer, so that we can have it a bit more watery. Because yesterday it was spurting out quite a bit, and that's not great. So let's get a few drops in that in there. There we go. And then we want some airbrush flow improver. I will say the only downside with leaving streaming is the amount of bloody cables that are all in the way at this point. It's just mental. My book fell over. Right, okay, let's get that nice and watered down. Ooh. It's a good job I put a bloody pin mark in that, isn't it? Honestly, that book is great though. Right, where's my dirty brush? There we are. Always have a really horrible dirty brush that you don't mind when mixing stuff or cleaning out airbrushes and what have you. Right, okay. Clean that off. Move these hands and the blaster out the way. So let's go. Right, so I need one of my sticks. I'm gonna need some blue tack as well. That one I go to make bobs. Okay. So, as we always do, I move these, and I think there is probably going to be quite a bit of overspray with this stuff. Move that palette out of the way. Because we're going to basically be spraying like, from a downward angle. So there is probably going to be a bit of overspray, so we don't want to get that on any of the other bits and bobs. Let's move that out of the way. Right, let's crack on. Down like that. all those raised areas. And then because it's a bit lighter on the top, gives him baked in shadows. Which is kind of cool. But I think what we'll do is we'll break it up a bit because we don't want it too strong. Because it has print lines which are a bit shit. Okay, so you can kind of see how it kind of properly showcases shadows and highlights of the actual sculpt, especially on obviously the pockets where you've got like these recessed areas here which have got all the shadows and whatnot, and then beneath the cowl here you'll have like a color variation which is quite good, and it saves you a lot of time so you're not having to like muck about too much with different colors. So standard practice for me at this point with doing fabric. It's really good at proper making the details pop. Right, so that's the duster done. We've now got to do the arms. Oh bloody hell. And you know what? I think on this occasion I've just looked at my fingers. We're gonna have I'm gonna have somebody ready for your exams, huh? Oh yes, finger. Maybe not. It's like that. It's like that TV program. I don't know if any Americans or any international people will get that, but in the UK there was a program called Zap, and they had like these arty farty hands would come out like that to show you do all these little craft things. It's kind of what it feels like at the minute. Anyway, right, enough messing around. Let's get a move on. Right, so we've got the arm here. So this will be at the elbow joint. So we'll have the light passing down on it this way. So let's give it a good old spray. Let's do a check. Yeah, there we go. Hitting all them curves. That looks quite good, but I think we might. Yeah, it's looking quite cool. You can see how it's proper showing off all them gorgeous creases, and we got really well with the trousers with that. My only concern with the duster, I'll just do that to round it off, is because of the camo. Like I don't know how effective it's going to be with the camo. So we've got the upper arm joint here, which is the left one. So hit that shoulder. Get that down like that. Angle it down. Just like that. Do you know what I really should do? I should get the music for... Oh... Well, ladies and gentlemen, not everything goes to plan. Sometimes there are what we call in the business as a fucky wookie. And I don't mean that as a rather randy Chewbacca, by the way. No, we have sometimes what Bob Ross would call a happy mistake, whereas I call in the business a fucky wookie. Right, so there we go. Let's angle that down, just like that. Block it off, just like this. Yes, what I was going to say before I was rudely interrupted is I should probably get the Vision On music whilst I'm actually making these and make it like smart. What do you think, Lou? What do you think? Should we do it? Right, okay, so we have the right upper arm again. Do a test spray. Spray from a downward angle. Hitting all them highlights. getting all that detail to really, really pop, making the sculpts do a lot of the hard work for us. Just like that. Just like that. Bit of Tommy Cooper. There we go. I usually do this highlighting pass method as well quite a lot when I'm doing miniature figures. So like when you're doing like Tamaya, like figurines and all that kind of stuff, that's always really good for doing these highlight passes, because then you can do glazing passes with them to really add super easy work, you know, quick and easy work to get the details to pop out. If you're out here and giving a watch, pop in the chat where you're from and say hello. So we go. Base layers all done. Shadows all done. Arms. Arming. So we've got them on. And I'm pretty happy with the way that's looking, but if it's not, we can always correct it when we put all the arms back together and plug them into the chest and what have you. So hands just over there at the moment. Whilst we're just waiting for those to dry, we'll just basically go over what some of the more work that was done yesterday off stream, just so I can talk through some of the work that I'd previously done. So obviously, as I said, we did the trousers where we did a highlight pass where we just did what we did before. And then we glazed over some dark brown, which was a NATO brown mixed with a bit of black. And that went on extremely watery. It took about 3 coats to basically go on so we could get these nice highlights. The leather work we did by first spraying it black. So we sprayed that with a matte black first. And then these highlighted areas here, just like we did with the tunic over here, what we did is we get the airbrush and we spray very thin lines of white through the center here, down the edge of the middle here, and then obviously along the belt here. And then once we've done that, we find our base color of the leather that we're really happy with. Say if we do like a mud brown for like the leather, you thin that down quite watery, spray it on. And then just like what we're going to do over here later on is that the dark of the black and the lightness of the white that you've just sprayed really helps make the leather look very two-toned between a dark brown and then the light brown. Now, once we've done that, we get like a cork brown or a lighter brown, and then we dry brush the edges of the belt, and then we dry brush some bits on the raised areas here and here, so you basically get like as if the leather belt has been scuffed and it's a kind of well worn, so that, you know, if you think about it, in Han Solo's case, it's a trusty tool belt. He's had it through A New Hope, he's had it through ESB, he's now on Endor, and he's still using it because it's Old Faithful. And we basically just did that along the edges, did a bit of it in the middle and all. And then, as you can see, you've got this beautiful build-up of the dark bits here with the light bits on the raised areas. And then what we would do, what we did after that, I say we're a collective, but it's just me at the end of the day. We hit it with some, sorry about that, we hit it some with high coat matte lacquer. Now, you can use things like, you know, I've used stuff like for the airbrushes in the past, like Humbrol Matte Clear is really good from an airbrush. That's quite good, but it doesn't have the wear resistant as propellant like rattle cans. Like rattle cans can give you a really gorgeous matte finish with it. The only problem is that you've got to be really careful with these things, because as soon as the can is coming to the end of its life cycle, it basically will be like rolling the dice whether or not do you get propellant or do you get the matte clear with it. And sometimes that really can just completely bugger everything, because you want it to be matte and it'll come out like a gloss, and that's not good at all. But anyway, so we did that, and we did like a bit, obviously sprayed it on the legs, on the belt and everything. The tunic, we got a Tamiya lacquer paint, and we thinned that down, and the clear coat, we sprayed that on, so we had a smooth surface. And to basically just show to you what this is, so we got these are lacquer paints. Now these are like an oil-based paint, and you need a lacquer thinner to actually properly water these down. They're not like normal paints at all. And where you get the clear, you mix it with 2 parts paint, 1 part thinner, put it through the airbrush, and it creates a really nice smooth layer across. We did that on the shirt, so you had like a smooth layer on the shirt. And then what we did is, with the shirt itself, hopefully you can kind of pick this up on the shirt here, we've got these recessed areas where the costume department have basically got this shirt. They've stitched this flat piece of fabric over the top of the tunic, and then obviously the shirt, beg pardon, and then they've got these flaps, and they've got these seam lines here. And we really want those to pop, because we really want the sculpt to really come and stand out, so it looks really good. And what we do is, with that, now that we've clear coated it, once again, like I said, with the Tamiya lacquer clears, we go in with a panel wash. I used medium grade for this one, and we basically just very watered down, put it all along the seam lines, so that you had this inbuilt detail within inside the shirt here. So we did that yesterday, and that's really good for being able to help details pop. We did a few little bits and bobs on the shoulders as well, but we didn't go mental, because you're not going to see it once the duster's on. That's it. It's, you know, it's hidden behind the duster, so we didn't go too mental with it. We did some more of those washes on the boots as well, just to give it a bit of dirt pass and whatnot. The other thing that we did as well, and shout out to Pt2. Pt2 on Instagram is one of the great head painters out there. He does amazing work, and we, as you can see, we've got one of these amazing kind of head sculpts that he's done. Now, the head sculpt paint that he basically does is done by different bits of glazing and whatever, where he has like a base color, and then he adds like blue, you know, yellow, red, and maybe like a burgundy to add some of the shadings and whatnot. But we needed to get the neck to match the head. So what we did with that is we first experimented with using Tamiya, Mr. Hobby, Mr. Color Character Flesh, which is 111. This was too light. This was no go. Too light. And it basically just looked like it had a really pasty neck, so we couldn't use that one. So we had to redo it all over again. And we found out that the Tamiya lacquer flat flesh was a really good mix for it. Let me just double check that I picked up one, because I've got a load of skin color paints in here that all look the bloody same. But basically, this Tamiya flat flesh was a really good mix that matched Pt2's base head, that skin tone that he'd done. And then what we did with this is we thinned it down with the lacquer thinner, and we got once that was dried, we put some clear on it. Once we put down this, and then we put some clear over top to it to make it all smooth, we would then get our palette, and then we get the Tamiya clear red, Tamiya clear yellow, Tamiya clear blue, water it down with lots of acrylic X20A thinner. And then what we do is, once all the surface is all dry, we would have it so you're basically getting the watered down red, and then you would layer it on, very watery, on the skin, add a bit of yellow, and then you would layer it on. And then the layering of the red, the yellow, and then the blue ultimately mixes together to try and make these different kind of skin pigmentation colors, which I think's made a pretty decent job at mixing the fantastic work that Pt2's done here to get this skin tone match. And then Once we're done with that, we hit that with high coat matte lacquer to give it that flat color so it matches in as best as we can to the head. Now, the skin color kind of like painting methodology that you're going to be using is actually warm color, that's your base kind of red, and then that's the cool color. The cool colors are like blue is really good for like when I was doing, I'll show you here whilst we're just briefly on the topic. So as we're talking about head sculpts and painting and what have you. Yeah. So the clear blue works really well when you're trying to do, say for example, stubble, shaved heads, all that kind of stuff. And then you can see like the red thin down goes really well into having these red areas of like skin folds and what have you. So I did that for the name of that sergeant from Endor, whose name escapes me. It's something beginning with G. Sergeant Gash. But anyway, so we did that. That was all done yesterday, and now we're on to the, like I said, the duster today. So we'll move that over there. Now I think we've given enough time to properly dry. We'll move these out of the way onto my IKEA stand over here. Move that out of the way for now. And these should have dried by now. Yes, they do look like they've dried, so that's all very good. Way up, sorry, my phone pinged. Right, okay, yep. Apologies about that. I'll just put that back there. Right, okay. Oh, that's weird. Right, okay, so let's get the colours on the go. That's really weird. What the hell's gone on there? Anyway, right, so a light earth colour. We said to think wet was going to be potentially the best mix for the duster base coat, but let's just double check because I want to make sure that I get it right. And I do think that probably is going to be the best for these bits here. Yeah, we'll go with a light earth for now. AK's light earth color, which I think, yeah, it's going to need watering down quite a bit actually. So get another pot. I'm only going to be doing 2-hour streams just because I think anything longer than that makes it a bit difficult. So let's get that in. But I think we should be able to get through the vast majority of this if we just crack on. And airbrush thinner. There we go. Get me dirty brush. And wash the cleaner through with that. Get that over there. There we go. Hold on to your butts. Right, I think we'll start off with an arm. Might be coming out a bit too tan. I think we need to cross-reference this now. You can see how the shadows are coming out, but let's have a look, shall we? Let's cross-reference. Endor, and Solo tunic. Oh my god, I cannot type for the life of me. Right, okay. Yeah, it'd probably be better if I put Duster, really, wasn't it? Right, okay. So by that, it does look like... Because there's a part of me, when you look at it in the film, and the Hot Toys one, it almost looks grey. But I don't think it necessarily is. And that's always the difficult thing. I mean, that is just miles off. That's what we're not doing. Like, not doing that. Those do seem more akin to what it should be. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a bit too sensitive at the minute. Or maybe we'll see how it looks when we crack on, but maybe let's just double check with some of the colour references. Because it is a strange looking coat. Why is it always toys? Right, okay. On screen, it does look like a grey, but then again, you have to take into consideration that could be film effects. No. Interesting. Okay, well, I think we'll carry on with the colour that we're going with at the minute. If it doesn't look all right, we can just respray it on, redo it all over again. So let's have a look. But before we go any further, let's double check and cross-reference the material colours that we have for the poncho which they used for Princess Leia. And I think that is a white colour that they did, like a white cotton. Oh my god. Based Scout Trooper, everyone. So, okay. You can kind of see it there. That's like the Polaroids, it definitely looks like a white. And I know that this is Princess Leia, by the way. That is definitely like a white material. And then when it's all sprayed up, it has got a bit of a lighty kind of... It looks all... I know it's white underneath, but the actual colour of it looks a bit more of akin to what we've sprayed. And let's just double check. The same material looks to be the same basis for Luke Skywalker as well. They've kind of roughly done the same. Sorry, it's off topic, but you can see dark green, and then there's a lighter green with that, which will be useful for when we do this. Now, do we need to make it lighter? I think we might need to make it lighter. I think, yeah, we'll go with the light earth. I think light earth is going to be fine. because when we get the camera over it, we're not necessarily going to see as much. We'll open that up over there, but we'll double check. So we're gone for light earth at the moment. Is there another color that might be more correct? See, I don't want to necessarily. No, I don't want to use bone white, because we used bone white for his shirt, and that was a pretty decent match. So I think maybe light earth is the better one. I don't think there's anyone in my paint things that are any closer. No. Okay. Cool. Right. That's fine. We'll stick with what we got. Maybe a Racky Sand. Oh bloody hell! No, I think. So we've got the different paint mixes here. So basically, we've got Racky Sand versus just looking at the front. Yeah, I think I was right. Light earth is the way to go. Racky Sand's just too dark. Right. Okay. Moment of clarity. Moment of hesitation gone. Let's steamroll ahead. Right. But we will do like another layer of this, just to add more pigmentation, like that, but not too much that we lose these nice fakes and shadows that we've got. Studio line. Okay, yeah, there we go. Move to do the arms. Okay, there we go. I'll bring my studio lights down. Kind of see a bit better. Oh, that's awful. Okay. Yeah. So for those, just in case, AK Light Earth, AK 111115. I've not used AK colors as much as I should do at this point. They seem to be all right, actually. They're very watery, which is very good. Okay, there we go. Hit the lower arm. Right, here we go. Big boy time. Might give it a top up. I'm not 100% sure how that paint's going on. Let me just get my brush. Still at work. But... Oh, thanks, Gunga. Thank you. Hope you have a good, safe day at work, my friend. Look after yourself, man. Thanks for popping by. Okay. Concentration in my head right now is palpable. Bit more texture on that end. Because we are going to have to fill the back in quite a lot, because you're going to see it, so we can't just ignore it as much as we would like to. For this coat, and let's go there. Yeah, that's so true. Like, Land Speeder Luke's like crusade against like soft goods is honestly such the right call. I hate soft goods on some of these things. Some of them are alright, but most of them are terrible. Like cloaks, fine. But nah, not on this one. Right, I'm just gonna give it a bit blast with the old hair dryer. It's one of the things that I always loathe about certain other scale model figure things is when they use soft good like jackets and everything. They just don't look good at scale. Hot Toys seem to be really good at that. Like their seamstresses or whatever they do, whatever the material that they do for like scale, it looks amazing. Like the Mud Trooper hand that I have for Hot Toys 1, the fabric that they've used and a lot of that is just so cool. And really clever as well. Like really clever how they. Oh god, I've painted my brush. Really clever how they've gone around making the boots. hopefully other manufacturers take that on board. Right, okay, so let's have a look at our duster. All right, so we need a bit more up there. Okay, so we've got some of the detail popping through, which is good. Let's check looking at the reference. Yeah, we're gonna need to start going in with the airbrush passes for the jacket now. Let's just have a quick overspray on the arms, just to knock it back a bit. See, I was kind of afraid that like going in with shadow passes might get lost because of the oversprays on this one, but it's not a massive issue. I've got a cunning plan of how to get around that at this point. I'll just do some washes to try and add some of the detail back in, especially I think on the collar. Yeah, the collar will probably need it because I think on looking at the reference material, the collar is it's a bit lighter on that, and there's not so much camo spray. Right, okay, so spray that in there like that. Oh, it's looking okay. I think I am going to have to get a new compressor because this one is quite loud. Speaking to the guy at Elemental Games the other day, he said the ones that some of the game makers use are quite quiet. So that might be an idea to invest in one. Right. Let's just give this a blast of hot air and just check the joint. To touch that up a bit, which is fine. Do the same for the joint. I've still got some of that left, which is good. Give this a blast of hot air now. Okay. We'll touch that up as well. I'm never overly too stressed about paint rub because you always get it. Now, whilst we'll just wait for these bits to dry. Oh, hold on a minute. Let's do a quick spray and let this go like that. Check the other one. Yeah, that needs a bit more. Okay, it's fine. That's there. That's like that. Right, we're going to need to look at the colours. We already know what the colours are like on the duster. It's three colours. You've got olive drab, like a greeny colour, and then like a brown and whatnot. So now we just need to choose the colours. And olive drab's quite easy because, well, I do World War II stuff, so we always have a bit of olive drab just kicking about. So let's have a look at that. How's my olive drab doing? It feels light, which is not good. That might be... No, that's not green enough. So the olive drab, this Vallejo olive drab, it's too olive drab, basically. It's not dark enough. So we can't use this one. So we need to look for something else from the paint stores up here. I think maybe this might be a good contender. The yellow orange. That looks pretty good for the lighter color. So we'll earmark that for the time being. See how that looks for that. IAF, Air Force, Royal Air... No, Bulldog, good lord, no. This is what annoys me about it. You look at them and you think, oh, that looks quite... And then you open it, you're like, nope. So no Royal Air Force green. Royal Air Force, of course. What? Olive green. Far too dark. No, can't be using that. Absolutely unacceptable, boy. Yellow olive. No. Oh, hang on a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. That might be actually... I think I got a winner. R-I-E-A-N. Rian. That's Rian. You're a genius. Yeah, okay. I'm happy with that. We'll do a colour test. First. Do a colour test first. Now we need to get a brown. A brown, so to say. So we've got two green, yellow green, which is going to have to be thinned quite a bit because that's model colour, which is not made for airbrushes. Then we've got the... well, there you go then. Yellow olive and yellow green. It's like a good mixture right there. Now let's look for the brown. So let's look at that. It's quite a dark brown. So... it's burnt umber. No, I think that's not dark enough. So, mud brown. Heavens no. Good lord no, boy. Can't be doing with that. Far too light. What have we got here? Mahogany. Hey up. Mahogany. Could mahogany be the one we go for? Let's have a look, oh boy. Let's have a look. Oh dear. Oh my. Yeah, maybe. That might be a tad too dark. Could be. But it shut up. Might be a runner-up. So stay there, you. You might be a runner-up with that one. Right. Okay. Stand by. I've got a dark... What the hell is that? Dark green. Somehow, I think someone's telling naughty fibs. Oh, it's a fucking Vallejo paints for this. Oh no, that's way too... So it's way too faded on that one. No, I'm not using anything of that. I mean, that might be good for doing a Stuart or a Cromwell or a Sherman or something, but it's not what I bleeding need now. Hey up. Right. Come on, lad. Right, where is it? Come on. Hey up. Right, brown. I don't want to use bloody... No, chocolate brown's not enough. Beastie brown. No, it's too light on that one. We can't be doing with that. Oh, maybe Tamaya has the answer. Flat brown. That might be actually what we need. which I really didn't want that, to be quite honest with you. I'm not looking forward to my stuff. I have a love-hate relationship with Vallejo and Tamaya stuff. Let's just call up. You know what? I think Tamaya might have just edged it. That mahogany is just a tad, maybe a tad too. Oh, but there are some parts that are really dark. We'll go with Tamaya's flat brown first, and I think that's going to be the better way to go about it. So, mahogany is too dark, and let me get a test piece first, and let's spray it. Come on. Yes. I have a cunning plan. Right, okay. So we have here, we have a Royce Hemlock jacket, which didn't pass quality control. This print, yeah, it's all printed, it's there, but I looked at the quality of that print and I said, way too many layer lines with that. Some prints, yeah, the odd layer line expected, you're gonna get it, but this was just like, nah, can't be selling that. That's fucking dog shit. So in the test bin it goes. So do a test. Give it a good old blast of heat. Hey Logan, wonderful to have you again. Thank you for popping by. There we go. Right, so just squirt the excess paint off into the cup. That in there. Give your meat a good old rub. That meme was so weird. Give it a good swirl. And then clear it out with some airbrush cleaner. Yeah. Hey mate, why are you not spraying out there, lad? What's going on? Why are you not spraying? Mate, my airbrush is making a bouse. That was terrible. Alright, well, there we go. The joys of airbrushing, ladies and gentlemen. Right, okay, so let's get this good old brush magic, get it in there, get a little cotton bud and clean it out. In there. There we go. I think realistically, I know this is not exactly the most exciting television, everybody, but yes, I knew it. There's bloody gunk in there, isn't there? There's gunk inside me nozzle. Try saying that after a few pints. There's gunk inside me nozzle. Right, okay. Let's get that tiny. Yeah, okay, it's definitely gunky, that is. And I want to make sure it's all good. Yeah, okay, plenty of gunk in there. Okay. I don't know if you can just about see that, but I think I'm having to really get all that dried up paint. And this is like one of the downsides of using Vallejo paint because of the latex mix that's inside the paint. Dries so quickly, which is good and bad. But you can put there's like a thing called like retarder. You can put it to prevent it from drying. There we go. Get that out. Get that out of there. Right. Now we have the test. Reassemble the airbrush back together. Field stripping. And then one. Okay. Get that on there. Give it another wash through. Something's not right. It's spitting again. It's spitting, everyone. Everyone inside. Right, okay. Yeah, so this is another annoying thing you get with some airbrushes sometimes. That if you can see these bubbles in the cup, that means there's a blockage inside the airbrush now. So now we've either just cleared it out now, or the blockage is still in there because it was creating that bubble stream out the back, so it was back flowing. So let's just do another test again. Yeah, we're having back pressure, which is not good. You know, you're not wrong. Like, there is always a part where I'm like, no, look at it making big bubbles. But then I'm like, no, this is annoying. We don't want this. Yeah, it's gunky. There we go. I don't know where that happened. Okay, so annoying. Right. I can just about... It looks completely clear now. No, it isn't. No, there isn't this. There's some shenanigans. You got any good airbrush cleaner? Yes, I do. Brush Magic is just the tits. always use brush magic. I do have a neat. Aha! It's like a James Bond gadget at this point. Oh yes, I'm gonna stab Blofeld in his eye with this sharp, pointy stick. Oh, now I want to watch Indiana Jones. I suddenly remembered my Charlemagne. Let my armies be the rocks in the trees, and the birds in the sky. Junior? Not gonna lie, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, best Indiana Jones film ever. Why'd you go for Connery? Sean Connery. I mean, like, why go for Sean Connery? Because he's like the most iconic. I mean, he's not my favourite Bond, but he is like the iconic Bond. My favourite Bond has got to be Bronson? Jesus Christ, no. Is it? Brosnan. Piers Brosnan. That was it. Not Bronson. Bronson's England's most prolific criminal. Bloody hell. Can you imagine if he was James Bond? No. Piers Brosnan was always my favourite one. Especially with GoldenEye. GoldenEye was just the tits. All that like old Soviet war kind of like Soviet stuff at the start, and obviously the tank chase. Oh my god, so cool! And not to mention the soundtrack was kind of baller as well, actually. And then I never really played the video game back in the day. I never had an N64, so I always missed out on the GoldenEye on N64. Ah yes, Clone Custom Troopers has messaged me. He's a real goat. You should definitely go and follow Clone Custom Troopers on Instagram. Guy makes some fantastic customs. I'm going to stop with Sean Connery now because I will get stuck in my head. Right, okay. Let's get that. Now, I'm doing this test to basically check how the original one does it before we go into the final print. I think I need to open the window for this stuff. Bloody hell. Gas. Let's look at the reference material. Yeah, it's kind of like a bit of blobs in I think the color is definitely right, but we'll move on to a different shade. Yes, I think that was by design, because I think he actually doesn't have the SE14 holster. I think he actually has a different blaster, and unfortunately hadn't realised until after I'd done the sculpt. So he's got like a DL44 or something like that. Right, okay, so that yellow olive, that's the correct color for the dark green material of the duster. I'm fairly happy with how that is in terms of the dark green. we'll go in and add some of the lighter green things now as well. Okay, so that's that. I feel like I'm gonna run out of these things at some point. These wee little pots. Get that yellow green. Okay, yeah. Get that, and then we'll get some airbrush thinner. Bum, 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 bum. Where's my dirty brush? Where's my dirty brush gone? What? Oh god, it's such a mong. Okay. There. And then spray. Okay, so that's coming up quite light, but that's fine. That yellow green goes there. Oh yeah, I think that's a bit more. So that's fine. Ooh, I just had an order. Thank you very much, that gentleman. Our lady. Yes, well. That might be a little bit too bright. Yes. See, this. I'm glad we did this test now. Yes. Yeah, maybe. I wonder what happens if I. Oh no. No, it's too bright. It's like almost bloody luminous. No, I don't know about that one. I mean, I like that we look like we're getting the dark green, the yellow olive that we're getting at the bottom. That's perfect. I'm happy with that. This kind of yellow green might be a little bit too bright, but at the same time, I kind of like, when we've got the lighter area here. That is kind of looking at the reference material from the Lucasfilm archive. That is looking like a good contrast between. Hey, Frederick. We're just working out which kind of colours that we're going to have to be doing for this duster at this point. So we're doing it on a test of a hemlock coat at the minute because I don't want to ruin the 3D print. And I'm just trying to work out. We've got, like I said, we've got a perfect, nice yellow olive down here. Really happy with that. But I'm unsure about the yellow green. It might be a wee bit too bright. But before we get worked up, let's double check that the brown is all right, and then we can come back to the yellow olive in a minute. Right. There we go. Stand by for action. Queuing up Thunderbirds and that was Stingray, that one, wasn't it? I love the Jerry Anderson TV shows when I was a kid. Those shows were just absolutely. I mean, who didn't want to be Thunderbird 2's pilot, right? Thunderbird 2 was just the tits, massive and green with all these little gadgets inside. check my mic. My mic's still on. That's good. It's weird for a second then. Right. Okay. And also, cool bit of movie. So, side topic. One of the things I love, and this was kind of born from like the era of when I used to be going to like conventions in the UK. You would always like end up meeting, like especially in like the late 2000s. Like 2007, 8, and 9. Like the convention scene in the UK was like dominated by loads of like B-list actors from all across like the British film industry of the 1970s and the 1980s. And you'd go there and you'd meet like Pam Rose, Derek Lyons, and a load of like, Garrick Hagan and all the guys who play the characters in the original Star Wars films, plus all the characters, people who played bit parts in like the Bill or like Thunderbirds and whatnot. One of the cool things, I ended up chatting to Shane Rimmer. And Shane Rimmer, for those who are not familiar with him, Shane Rimmer was the Canadian chap who voiced Scott Tracy in the Thunderbird series. And he, like many people, because of what London was like in the 1970s, lots of like bit part actors would just walk onto a set and do a little bit of work here and there. And Shane Rimmer has a bit part in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. And once you kind of see it, or hear it for that matter, you can't unhear it. And he basically plays the rebel technician, who basically says to Luke, "This R2 unit of yours is a bit beat up. You want a new one?" That's the voice of Scott Tracy from Thunderbirds. He was in Spy Loves Me as well, which is kind of one of those Roger Moore James Bond films, which were a bit silly, but some of them are pretty good. And the one with Christopher Lee, Man with the Golden Gun, was good because, let's be honest, it's bloody Christopher Lee. What can't you not love about Christopher Lee? Right, okay. Oh, Temple of Doom Supremacy. Sir. Scheisse. What's this stuff called? It's a test anyway. Temple of Doom Supremacy. Yeah. Well, do you know what's really weird? You're not the only one. Like, you're genuinely not the only one. I remember, like, when I was worked at TT Games back in the day, this was well before, like, the internet was so kind of divisive. We used to have, like, the best debates in the office of, like, which was the best Indiana Jones films, best Star Wars films, and all that kind of stuff. Proper, old-fashioned, good-spirited debates of, like, films. And there was a guy in work who used to swear blind that he said Temple of Doom was the best one. I mean, he was objectively wrong, because it's always the Last Crusade. I joke, no matter which one you like, they're all really good. I think realistically, if you were to say, oh, the best one was Crystal Skull or Dial of Destiny, I think realistically you're probably going to have to duck your head then. But you know what? Controversial opinion. I kind of like the Crystal Skull now I've gotten a bit older. I know. Heresy. It is heresy. But I liked a little bit of it. Like, that's one of the most brutal deaths in all of Indiana Jones. Like, I can't quite work out who has the worst death in the whole of the Indiana Jones franchise. Like, a part of me genuinely thinks it's that Russian guy. Like, oh my god, so bad. Right, back from the yapping. We've got the colours. The brown's perfect. The dark green is perfect. The yellow green, maybe not. So we might need. Right. Ooh. Why don't we just have another look in the light next to the paints? Let's move these over here, so I'm not causing absolute complete kerfuffle. The only phone. Yeah, you know what? I'll give you that. That is true. And you know what? That kind of reminds me of what the kind of thing that I love about like the 2000s, like TV shows, like serial TV shows, like having like a new adventure every week. I love that. And I always think those kind of TV shows seem to have like a better shelf life because you can always say, oh, if that episode wasn't very good, you can like say, oh, well, next one will be completely different. Let's see how good that is. That's why I loved Farscape. Like Farscape was just, I mean, Lou, I know if you're still watching, I know you hate Farscape, which I know that's because you're wrong. But Farscape for me was just amazing because of all that, the random adventures that they have per episode. But yes, you're quite right. Quite right. But Sean Connery, though. Oh, yes. Right, okay. Oh, no. I'll have a look at that picture that you've just sent a minute ago, Sharky, mate. Do you know what's really weird? Now that I'm looking at this camouflage pattern, kind of like, hold up, wait a minute. I need to Google something now because I think I've just thought of something. Oh my god, I've ruined it for myself. I was just looking at the colours for this tunic and I'm like, why does it look familiar? The colours, they look like Panzer IV. Like, they look like Panzer IV spray camo or like, yeah, like a dark, a light, and a bright. All right, well, there you go. We're calling it Hans Panzer jacket from now on. So that's interesting. I wonder if there's like a reference. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. It also depends on what paints I've actually got in stock as well. Right. So we need to find a better, potentially a better color than the yellow green. I don't think my Tamiya colors are necessarily going to fit that. Ooh, this NATO green. Well, I don't think that's an option, do you? I don't think that's an option. Bugger. All right, we'll check one. I can just do a bit of paint mixing, but I'm so reluctant to do paint mixing. It really does. It does look like that camo. It does look like Western Front Wehrmacht camo. It does. I've ruined it. Well, I've ruined it or improved it. Ooh, Frederick, sending me the goods. Right, what have we got there? Olive drab. No, we've already got that. We don't need that. No. Okay, so there's nothing in there. I might have to just bleed and mix a chuffing paint. And I don't know if I want to do that. Unless... maybe old reliable goblin green. But that's a bit too bright. Might be too bright, that. What if we get a bit of this yellow green and we knock it back a bit? And if we knock... I mean... No, I think we're going to need to knock it back a little bit. Just a tiny, tiny wee bit. So we get this. There we go. Get that. Where cracking toast grunt. No. Ooh, what's that? Oh no, that's Feldgrau. Deutsch. Das ist für deutsche Soldaten. Right, okay. Right, okay. Yeah, I'm just trying. I think I'm trying to just find that perfect light green. This yellow green is kind of near there, but I just think it's a bit too fluorescent. Maybe I just want to knock it back a tiny bit. And I'm just gonna test how like mixing a bit of black with it might actually help knock that back a bit so that it's not too bright. So get a bit of the old. You got XF89. Jesus Christ, I am fucking dyslexic. My Tamiya paint collection is not very big. Except, well, I got 69. I don't have 89 or 62. No, that's more. 69. 67. Are we playing bingo here? No, I don't have that one. La Bugger. Right, oh, my phone's going to die in a minute. Uno Momento, por favore. Put my phone in. Because I don't want my phone. I'm going to need to replace that plug socket at some point. Keeps sparking on me. And I don't like that. Oh no, sorry. Schöne Deutsche. My Deutsche ist nicht sehr gut. Aber my German goes as far as going, wo ist der Bibliothek und wo wohnst du? Ich wohne zum Stockport. Ich bin 34 Jahre alt. Which is not going to get you very far. Like, I can't just go around Germany going, I'm 34. Everyone's going to go, he's bloody cracky. Send him on. That looks better. Right. I think, yeah. This green looks a bit better. It's not so bright. Ja, meine Deutsch ist nicht sehr gut. Aber sprechen Sie English, bitte? Yeah, I think that's a bit better. So this is less like fluorescent. I don't want it out of the bottle, so I'm gonna have to color mix some, I think. So we've got the paint that we kind of want with this at the moment, which is kind of good. It just means that I'm gonna have to color match it. So if you're looking for the paint mix of what to do, right? You're gonna need, right, let's move these out of the way because I'm getting myself confused here, yeah. Let's have a look. All right, come on, you. Oh, nice. Wonderful. Wunderbar. One day I will get to Germany, officially. I say, voice der Diskothek. I haven't officially been to Germany, however, unofficially. In 2016, me and my reenactment group may have technically invaded Germany, which was quite funny. We were around the Belgium-German border in a town called Eupen, and our convoy was going down this road. And we were told, like, in the morning, we were like, right, you're going to be going down this road. You've got to go down this way to this town, and you're going to have to liberate this town, put this show on for the public. And we were like, yep. And I remember, like, being at the meeting, and the officer was told, right, don't go down that road. If you go down that road, you cross the border and you're in Germany, and we don't have the jurisdiction to be in Germany. And if you do, you'll get in trouble. And we've all got like armored cars, like GMC trucks, Jeeps, a lot of machine guns and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, we took the wrong turn and we ended up in Germany when we shouldn't have been, and had to promptly turn around, which was kind of funny, because we said, oh, I think we just actually invaded Germany by accident. Right, enough yapping. So your paint mix for the lighter green is going to have to be a mix of like yellow green, and then a slight dab of black to try and knock it back. I mean, if you're happy with it out of the bottle, that's fine. I'm not, so I'm going to knock it back. Then we've got flat brown, XF10 for the actual brown spray bits, and then we've got yellow olive as well, and that's going to be for the base of the duster. So yeah, I think that's kind of where we're going, and that's kind of how it's going to come out. But I've got to be not so oh, okay, it's old German. Okay, interesting. Didn't know that. That is very interesting. Thank you. I didn't realize there was such a thing. But that's cool. Yeah, so I need to not be so heavy on the spray. So I think we'll start first with the dark colour. It's not that many bits of the dark colour. It's mostly at the bottom of the duster. So, in the words of Mr. Arnold, under your butt. Okay, jolly good. That's not good. I can't remember if I told the story, but it's kind of funny because it's linked to the German language. So I have a friend called Dan, and Dan speaks fluent German. His family are from Austria, and he goes and spends a lot of time with his extended family in Austria. And he has a relative called his Opa, and his Opa and him, they speak German to each other. Anyway, fast forward, and basically during my phone just died. Oh, you son of a... Anyway, fast forward to during the filming of Downton Abbey, and in one of the seasons of Downton Abbey, there is obviously a flashback to the First World War, and my friend Dan is a very big history buff, extremely knowledgeable on the First World War. So he went down as an extra and as a bit of a historical consultant for the filming of Downton Abbey. And he took a few friends down him. They're all kitted out in like First World War kit and all that kind of stuff. And we have a mutual friend called Tom. Now Tom, he's a lovely bloke, but if he was ever turned into an animal, he would be a Labrador, right? He's a lovely, lovely, lovely chap, but he's a bit gullible. And they were doing these scenes, and basically Dan was a Tommy and Tom was a Jerry. And they had to get all kitted up in the outfit. And obviously Tom, he's like, mate, what do I say? I don't know any German. What do I say? I don't know what to do. I want to shout something during the battles, say that I'm a killer, then I'm mad. And my friend Dan said, oh, you want to say something really good, do you? And he went, yeah, mate, I do. What do I say? So my friend Dan was like, well, what you want to do is you want to, as you're running across no man's land and we're doing all these scenes, you want to be shouting something like, "Ich bin ein Schmetterling." And he's like, oh, cheers, mate. What's that mean? What's that mean? He goes, oh, it means I'm a killer. It means I'm hard. You want to be shouting, "Ich bin ein Schmetterling." And so Tom was like, oh, yeah, sound, mate. Nice one, lad. I'll shout that. And during the battle scenes, Tom was running around going, "Ich bin ein Schmetterling," which, according to what Dan told me, means in German, "I am a butterfly." So in the background of the filming of Downton Abbey, there's a bloke, there's an extra running around shouting, "I'm a butterfly, I'm a butterfly," which I just thought was really funny. Poor Tom. Oh, he's a funny guy. I need to move my my phone. Hang on a minute. Let's try this. Oh. Right, so we've done the bottom of the duster in this kind of like olive drab kind of color, because all at the bottom, all along here, it's got all this olive drab spray, and we're basically going to go and try and do like a loop just underneath here. Before we do that, I just want to make sure I get the chat up so I can see what you guys are saying. Ooh, sorry, I'm hurrying up, I promise. There we go. He's that Tom fella. We did like a reenactment once in Hull, and he said, "Oh lads, I'm just gonna go to the shop. Does anyone want anything?" And we're like, "Nah, all right, mate." And he walked off and he didn't come back for like 3 hours. And we were like, "Oh my god, where's Tom? He's not been here for 3 hours. Is he all right?" And it comes back and he's like, "Yeah, all right, lads. How's everything?" We're like, "Tom, where have you gone? Like, you've been gone for 3 hours. You were just going to the corner shop." We go, "I just wandered into town, got a pork pie." We're like, fucking Bert. Right. Let's see. Need to test that my airbrush is still working, because it's going squiffy with this plug that I've got. Yes. I see the problem. There we go. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. The plug's over right. Thank you, yes. My comment about blind. I said I checked the can. Okay, well that's cool. Well, that's one less thing to worry about, eh? Jolly good. And that roughly matches. See, this is where I was saying I don't think the highlight passes are gonna necessarily work with doing the duster. It's got a bit of a there, like that. He's got a Webley? A Webley in Star Wars? Honestly, you gotta give him. Who doesn't love a Webley? think I might have to. Yeah, so there's like a little bit. It's not too heavy, so I might have to. Try and. It's got a bit of a dark brown one. Okay. Got a bit on the. Bit on the lapel. Near the fold. We'll connect that up like that. We'll do a little bit on the collar. Oh, bollocks. That's my bad. Okay. Do a little bit there. Do a bit there. Okay. Thank you very much for the order, whoever that was. I really appreciate that. Okay. I'm going to go less is more with the duster. I think we've kind of got a good mix of the dark olive drab mixed up over there on the main part of the duster. The frustrating thing is that like it's kind of hard to see the other side of the actual duster itself because we haven't got a good all-round shot of it. So we're gonna have to be a little bit selective. I'm just trying to do a bit of jiggery poking my phone. So I can see what everyone's saying without getting in the way. Oh, wonderful. Now I can see it. Right. Arms. Arms, sir. That is the right arm. Okay, so we need the left arm. Oh no. Oh, for God's sake, what a loser. Yeah, right arm. Right lower arm. So right arm. Yeah, okay, right. Stand by. Moving on. Right. Stand up. Get some heat on it. Spin it like that. Right. So let's get the old thing. Now this is he's got a bit of the how much of the Imperial Army took from. Well, funny you should say that one. I did some digging of that actually. Because when I was watching Endor season 1, the bit where they're on Ferrex and they're basically going to face off with the locals. The sergeant, the ball sergeant, is running around going, "Stand to, stand to." And now, stand to, I know, is a British military term that they've used, and other militaries use it. And obviously, what I found when I was looking into it, I was like, well, they've obviously got some sort of historical or military advisor for Endor, and it turns out that they actually have. So it's kind of cool that the Empire has its drills based off of the British Army. Because as you know, like the Jaguar advert, we Brits make the best villains. Oh, yes. I kind of think so. I always think when you've got people like Mark Strong, Ben Kingsley, Tom Hiddleston, who are the famous villain British actors? Well, Christopher Lee. But yes, anyway, Endor season 1, and I think the same bloke was working on season 2 as well, which I wouldn't be surprised. So that's kind of cool. Okay. Yep, we got a spray on that. We can't really see the one, but I think it might be sensible to try and do something similar. Top to the arm, you know. Do it up to the arm. There we go. Get off. Oh, bugger. Oh, crumbs. It's fine. It's fine. I can fix it. Don't worry. Right, sleeve round the NCOs are. I'll have a look later on. I've got an Endor project that I want to do for my own personal collection as well at some point. It's the kit that I want to do. It'll be new product on the store. Just gotta I'll have to sit down for a good fair few hours to get that one out. And I just don't have the time at the minute. I'm super behind on stuff. Right, okay, so I think we're going to try and limit the dark green to less is more. Because I don't want to overdo it. So we'll do a bit on the upper shoulder, maybe like do that. Okay, I'll do like a band like that. Right, okay, so looking at the reference, we've done quite a bit of the dark green. The other thing is the light green. So I think if we do the light green next, and then the brown, maybe the brown can... Is that brown sprayed? Oh, that brown does look like it's sprayed over the top, doesn't it? Right. Okay. We'll do the brown last. We'll do the green the light green next, and then what we'll do is we'll do the brown last, and then I'm just looking at it now. There's a load of areas where the duster has basically lost the spray paint because of movement. So we'll dry brush the raised areas as well. I'm like 3 steps ahead. Okay. Right, okay, mix that. Get that in there. Washing it. I made a good decision with wearing these gloves today. I mean, look at that. Just clean that off. Right. Are we sitting comfortably, everybody? Yeah. Well, back at you. We're going in. Cover me, Porkins. Let's wash that out. Oh, I really, really want a new tooled X-Wing pilot figure. Oh, that's just reminded me, actually. Yeah, okay. There was something I was supposed to do. Okay. Something I was supposed to do with some more stuff at some point. Okay. We'll revisit that thought later on. Right, so yellow, green, bit of black, and airbrush thinner and flow improver all mixed together. No. And my dirty brush. Get the yellow, green. It always comes out so clumpy. There we go. We'll just do the one drop at the minute. All right, there we go. One proper drop. Get the old thinner on the go. Get that in there. Okay. Oh shit. Oh no, okay. Panic over. Nice and dark now. Now the question is, how much darker is it than the baseline paint? Do we need to add more black? I don't think we do actually. Or is it I don't think you'll be able to see on the screen. It is marginally, but not by much. So maybe one proper drop in a proper copper coffee pot. She had a way with words, did our princess. Right, okay, we'll try that. Oh, I could murder a coffee now, actually. A good black coffee. Who was it that somebody told me last? Was it Sheriff Skywalker or someone? Someone told me to add salt to my coffee, and they weren't wrong. It is actually really good. Right, so we've added 4 micro drops, 2 proper drops into this. Okay. I think I made it too dark. Yeah, I made it too dark. So we'll add some more yellow green on it. But at least I'll have plenty of paint. Ooh. Ooh, oh my. Thin it down. This is why I hate mixing paint. I remember I asked the Clone Custom Troopers once how to do a paint mix, and he almost had like an encyclopedia of how to do paint mixes instantly. He was like, "Oh yeah, you just do that, bum bum bum," and I was like, "I've never have thought of how to have done that." All right, wow, thank you. Right, okay, yeah. Yeah, all right. I think that's a good enough mix. Mate, you're gonna be up all night with that one. Right, okay. Before we get stuck in on the spraying, I'm gonna see what Frederick and Logan have sent me. Have a quick look. Oh, suit you, sir. Oh, bloody hell, Logan. You weren't kidding, were you? Wow, okay. Right, you've intrigued me now, Logan. You have my interest peaked, sir. Also, Frederick, that what you just sent me, that shall not be named. Suit you, sir. Ooh, suit you, sir. But yes, Shark, that pistol definitely looks like a revolver of some sort. No idea what that is. It doesn't look like a revolver. It doesn't like a. It's definitely not a Webley, because a Webley has a Bakelite black grip. By the look of that grip, maybe look for a Moise Nagant revolver, something like a Moise Nagant revolver. Might be something like that. You never know what they've been able to get access to. I think it's a Moise Nagant revolver. It's like the ones that came before the self-loading magazine-fed. Is it Karkarov? I don't care for Soviet stuff. It's British and the American all the way for me, I'm afraid. Anyway, right, less yapping, more spraying. Okay. Let's get this mix in. Okay, there we go. It's quite watery, which is quite good. Do I want to reduce my PSI? No, I think I need to increase my PSI. Okay. Oh, right. Hold on. Now, this looks like streaks and crisscross patterns for the Han Solo Panzer armor coat. Not that at all. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate at the minute. I think I need to move my camera so you can kind of see it. Yeah, it's kind of literally all over the place, like a crisscross kind of effect. That is a Bob Ross moment. That is a happy accident. Okay. Pocket. Okay. Oh shit. That kind of works. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll come back to that because I think we've done some good spraying on that one. Now we'll look at the arms. So right arm. I think what we're going to have to do is that once the arms are put back together, I think we're going to have to do some spray lines over it as well. Try and merge them together. I just realised as well, the this yellow green that I'm using at the minute is the same colour I actually used on the Endor Commando. So it's gonna. I just realised it's gonna match really quite nicely. Okay. It's getting there. Like looking at it on the sticks, it's looking more Endor Han, bit by bit. I'm actually kind of excited now. I can't wait to see it actually done. It's gonna look really cool. I'm sorry when I'm spraying I don't talk. It's just that there is, like I said, there's only so much brain power that can go along. Oh, he's got it. Knock that back a bit. Right. It's a Smith & Wesson Model 10 with slight visual changes. Honestly, that's kind of cool. Model 10. When was the Smith & Wait a minute. Smith & Wesson Model 10. Okay, I need to check something on that one. That's kind of cool. I knew it was definitely not a Webley, that's for sure. Because it did, like I said, it didn't have that Baker-like grip that the wartime ones had. The dark black plastic. Right, okay. So that is kind of, I'm not. Okay, happy accident with that one. Alright. I think we're ready for the brown. Let me just double check. If not, we've got plenty of paint mix anyway to go back to the light green, if not. Right. Stand by. If you could make that for me, so I'd post it just a regular Imperial Officer holster, it looks like. Okay. I'll have a look. I'll have a look at it. See what can be done. Send me reference to that blaster on Instagram, and I'll have a look. Because I've got some revolver files somewhere that I did for a tank crew a long time ago. But how soon I can do it is anybody's business. Because not only am I working on this, I've also got a new kit in the works as well. You heard it here first. New kit on the way. And hence it's from a video game. No Gunga. Sadly, it's not from that one just yet. Let me just have a look at this pistol. That looks very Dirty Harry-esque, that revolver, that mate. That does look very Dirty Harry. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that was Dirty Harry's pistol. Okay. Right. Stand by. Here we go. Brown time. Where's my cocktail stick? Here, lads. You fucking better get that cocktail stick on the go. And notice I don't use paper towels because microfibers are much better. It's better for the environment as well. It's probably not. Right, let's get that brown sprayed up. Oh, it's kicking off at the pub. There's a pub across the road from our street. It's always super light. It's a Friday today as well. The grip is completely smooth, though, on Bly's. Well, that'll keep me happy. Oh, I've got all in my glove. That'll keep me happy because there's nothing worse than I hate having to put textures on grips and stuff. So I was a nightmare. Well, it's not. It's not a nightmare, but I just rather not do it, oh boy. I'm not surprised they ruined the hammer, but from the picture I can see it does look very revolver-esque. I would expect that they would have to do quite a bit of work to make it look literally less exactly like a revolver. It almost like goes akin back to that whole Endor AK-47 debate for season 1. Which, what's everyone's opinion on that one? Oh no. Really? For God's sake. This is why Vallejo paints such a shit. Fuck. Every time. There's nothing even in there. What are you doing? What are you doing? Right, we'll have to get some brush magic in there for that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do the same. One thing, I really like the selection of colors that Vallejo have and how accessible everything is. I just hate how the paint mix is. And the problem is with I really like Green Stuff World's paint, but the problem is that because they're geared towards fantasy and the Warhammer scale of things, they don't have the same. Right, we're gonna have to do a deep clean because it's just spurt bloody paint everywhere. Oh, the joys. That honestly might be why. Okay. And then I'm gonna have to. I can't see through the tube, so I think that might be why. I think it might be that the back pressure has caused the Vallejo paint to get in the back of it. Which is, again, further evidence to say that if you're ever using Vallejo's airbrush paints and they say, oh, these are built for airbrushes, they're not. They're really not. But curse you for having great paint, libraries. I think that might have been why. I forget about the back of it sometimes. I get so caught up with the front. Yeah, okay, let's see through. No, too big. Slightly smaller. We're going to need to get through that. Yeah, I can see through it just fine. So yeah, you can just see that gunk just come out. I know, not the most exciting of television shows, me cleaning out the airbrush again. But it happens. It happens. But the end results that you do get from airbrush are worth it. I mean, realistically, the answer for that is just to water down your paints more and more and more. But I can't really be spending hours upon hours layering it up. I've tried ultrasonic cleaners as well. Ultrasonic cleaners. Is my mic working properly? Sorry, I just looked down at it. Yeah, okay. Anyway, yeah, ultrasonic cleaners for cleaning my airbrush, but it didn't really seem to do all that much. But I can see through it now. So we're clear again now. Just need to check. Nozzle. Yeah, we're clear there as well. That's a bit rough. So we'll take that needle off. Give that a wipe. And I think I might coat that before we go to try and help prevent tip drying a bit more. Try and extend before I have to do this again with some silver. Oh my god, I love this stuff. It smells so good. That and Brasso as well. Whenever I have to Brasso my buttons on my tunics, it stinks after a while, but at first it's like, oh god, this is nice. If you've just tuned into the stream, by the way, I promise you, me polishing off my needle is definitely no euphemism. I genuinely do need to clean this. Right. There we go. While we're here. Give this a good wipe down. Ooh, look at that. I need to plug my camera phone nice and clean. So let's polish that needle. Yep. Okay. Silvero. Yep, that's clear. Once again. That's not. It was before, but it's not now. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I need to just move over hand. And plug that in. Okay, so I think my phone should be plugged in now, so it's not going to lose charge. Oh dear. Oh dear, we are in trouble. Look at all that nastiness. Disgusting. Disgusting. Ah, cheers, bro. Thanks for popping by, Toy Guzzler. Madame is out for my message, parlez-vous. Right, okay, there we go. Does that look clean for everyone? Looks like it to me, doesn't it? Okay. Right. Bleeding it. If this spurts on me now, we riot. We don't. We don't, because I'd get in trouble. And the po-po would be at my door. Okay, so trigger mechanism. Bolt carrier. Firing pin. Magazine. There we go. Right. Come on. Made a mistake. Helps if I put the trigger the right way around. You know anywhere I can get wide capes and cloaks from over here? I don't want to. There used to be a guy called Mythos Boba. He used to do really good, like really nice wide capes, and he's northeast way, up near Durham and Newcastle and all that kind of stuff. He's a great chap, but I don't think he's been in the game for quite some time. I think he kind of stepped away for a bit because he had like a daughter. So I think he had a daughter as a kid or something that he wanted to spend some more time with, which is, kind of wholesome. He's the only person that I know in the UK that's doing it and did it really well. Maybe he has some like nicking about, but I wouldn't like to say. Good chap. All right. That's yes, Ironheart Customs. That's the chap. Yeah, Ironheart Customs. Mythos Boba, same bloke. Yes, his stuff was good. I haven't seen him for a long time though. Like I haven't seen him active. I mean, he's on my Facebook and he he's commented on a few things, but like I said, I don't think he's been very active in the scene for a while, which is a shame because his cloaks were really cool. Right, okay. Now don't do it again. That's just massively improved. He was such a good chat, wasn't he? No good place to get the Death Star down. Ooh, no good place to get a Death Star diorama for Black Series. Landspeeder Luke, shout out. Landspeeder Luke's files, his STLs that he does for all of his Death Star stuff, dios, amazing. For printed versions of Landspeeder Luke's stuff, speak to my friend Will at CB Prints 3D. He's down south somewhere. He's got his print qualities are really good resin prints, really good FDM prints as well. Thoroughly nice chap, awesome. So yeah, give him a shout out. I think he's supported Landspeeder Luke's Patreon. But if you've got an FDM printer, just go straight to Landspeeder Luke stuff. It's well worth that. Right, okay, so we need to do some cross stitching, cross stripes. It's kind of splattered and spurted all over it, so maybe, yeah, like that. And then maybe just do some spot. So there's one on the locale. Oh shit. Oh dear, Richard the Fan. I need to bring that PSI down. That's way too high. That's better. Right, okay, so at the bottom there's like a few dots. Way too bleeding high. One going up like that. Waist. Need to move that box so I can see it a little bit better, because I can't see it very well in the shadows at the moment. In the shadow of my time. Who remembers the Rasmus? 2000s rock band, come on. Who was a 2000s metal kid and remembers those? I remember those. Pepperidge Farm remembers those. So there's some spots on the collar, stripes down the arms, a bit of dry brushing is going to be on the edges with the collar and the stripe. It's all kind of just woven in there, really. Right, okay. Right. That's doing it, isn't it? Right, dude, I think. Okay. Okay, collar. There's one on the collar. Ooh, that was perfect. Near the cut of the collar. Oh, suit you, sir. Collar. The opposite lapel, one going across. Knock that back a bit. I think we'll continue that down like that. Wipe off the excess. Bit of pre-done weathering with that. How's that pocket? Oh, there's one big splodge of it on the top of the pocket. I think we'll blend that up there. Oh, I can just see the thumbnail of that. Oh. If you don't know what I'm doing, that looks so fucking weird. Right, okay. At the bottom of the duster, around the edge at the bottom, there's a bit of a dark spot. That's where the brown. Let's mix that in. It's kind of like, what do you think? I'm pretty pleased with that. I mean, I can't look past the fact that he's wearing a panzer coat. Okay. Looking too bad. Okay. This side's looking very empty, so let's try and emulate a bit of. I think I'm gonna have to freehand a lot of this side. Bollocks! Oh, there is no brown on that collar. There's a tiny splodge of it on. Oh well, we've already done it in the exact same spot where it is. Okay. We'll do a little bit. We'll do a little bit at the top now. Okay, I think I'm looking all right there. Got some tip drying going on the end of the airbrush there, which is a bit of a problem. But the coat itself, I just panicked for that. I was like, oh my god, where the fuck is Han Solo? Right, okay, so there we go. Let's check it with, let's have a preview peek, shall we? With actually Han himself. Oh, look at that. Oh, yes. That I am loving. That. Oh, the only problem is I'm going to have to add something to keep his head in. Because... Oh, well, to be fair, I wasn't getting the coats to sit down far enough, but... Look at that. I'm really glad we went with the light earth. The light earth for the base of that, because that is just... That is Endor Han, isn't it? Look at that. Absolute cinema. Okay. We're in business! Stoked with that, mate. So fucking stoked with that. Right, yeah. What Panzer coat? Fucking beasting! Right. Let's get these arms done. What are those? Thank you very much, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen, and whatever else you might want to be. That for sure. Right, we need to do the brown bits on the arms now. Drop in halfway through the plea pound. Oh my god, thank you very much, buddy. I really hope they're helpful, and thank you for popping in and saying hello. Right, okie dokie. Oh no. Fred, I've just been remembered of that conversation that we were having, like, okie dokie, figure of pokey. This is a local shop for local people. You're not local, you're not from around here. I worry for the people who don't know this reference, because that would have sounded mental. Right, okay. Okay, let's get this arm done. So on the right arm, there is a splodge right at the top here. And then we've got roughly about the elbow, there is like a snaking pattern down. So, no, not Harry Enfield. The Harry Enfield is Sutrus. The Fast Show. No, that one was League of Gentlemen. The terrifying League of Gentlemen is a comedy. Anyway, I think we're going to have to basically put the arm together to get the snaking patterns of the arm like all matching up. Otherwise, it's going to look very disjointed. So, hold on to your butts. We're going to try to put them together. And I don't think it's going to be a massive problem. But I have said that before. and things have gone cocked up. So let's get that like that. Right, stand by. Here we go. Right, we'll start with the right arm first. These are an absolute bugger to... Oh. They're a piece of piss to get back together. Okay. I think I need new gloves. I don't think that's doing anything at this point. Alright, let's change gloves. I could just feel my hands getting touching the paintwork now. It's always the worst thing about using these gloves, that your hands get so bloody sweaty. Oh my god, they really are. Like, there are some figures that need a cup of tea and they need to go in a hot bath. A lot of the I'd say the Imperial Army troopers need a good cup of tea. Oh no, hello Dave. You're my wife now, Dave. If you don't know what we're on about, it's the League of Gentlemen, the BBC comedy from like the 2000s. Oh my god. My hands are so sweaty, I can't put the gloves on. Ugh. Mistakes were made. For God's sake. Do I need to go and talcum powder my hands? Bloody gloves on, come on. Sod it. That will just have to do for now. I'll have to have saggy fingers. Right, whatever. Let's do this other one. Oh! Bye, lad. It's not going on. So we're going to get our coat. Oh, we're going to need to spray that as well. Okay. Not looking too bad. But as you can see, there is a wee little gap that we haven't got at all there. I'm just trying to sod the gloves. I'll have to put the gloves in a bit because I can't get them on because my hands are too clammy. Right, okay. Ooh, I've not watched any of Alien Earth yet, but I know somebody in the chat is very excited about Alien Earth. Me and Lou are on our Harry Potter annual rewatch. For her sake, obviously. We watched the Philosopher's Stone yesterday, and I think we're going to have to watch the Chamber of Secrets coming up as well. Coming up soon. And then it's on to one of my favourite Harry Potters, is the Prisoner of Azkaban. Because it's got Gary Oldman in it. Right, so we'll do that. Do the arm top. One of the things that I'm really looking forward to in terms of Alien is the new Alien Isolation game that's in the works at the minute. Loved the first game. So good. I hid in so many lockers. Okay. Right. Let's try and do this snaking pattern. Okay, and then there's a bit of a... Hey Lubu, can we cheat and have some Harry Potter gummies today, do you think? Or do we have to wait until the next Harry Potter? Holy crickets. You're Harry Potter. I'm Hermione Granger. And you are Ron Weasley. Pleasure. Just never tell Lou to do my favourite Harry Potter character. Oh yeah, you'll have them before then. You'll have your orders before 15th. They're not been done yet because I'm waiting for the boxes to arrive from the supplier. We got screwed over by the supplier. They were supposed to arrive by Wednesday, and they've basically arrived today. But the delivery driver basically did a knock-a-door run, and then I have to book a redelivery, which is basically they're coming for Monday. So I've got a load of orders that I are ready to go. I just need boxes for them to go in, which is really annoying. It's the first time they've done it, and they're usually pretty good at getting stuff to me. I just I don't want to get. We used to get them from Amazon, but the price that Amazon charge for like cardboard boxes is just ridiculous compared to some of the wholesale suppliers. But the problem is with the wholesale suppliers is that obviously you've got a several day wait, or in this case, a week wait, which is not good. I've not been happy, Bunny. I've not been happy, Bunny, lad. It's been annoying. And on the wrist, and there's a bit on the inside, which is kind of... Okay. Oh, there's quite a bit of brown on that on the inside of that now. Okay, I think that's gonna do for now. Maybe. Right, there we go. I need to do some touch-up work, but we're on to the next phase, I think, soon, which is going to be... I've got to retouch up this area, and I'm thinking about, do we do washes? Or is this going to be enough? I think we maybe add a few washes to it. Plus, I've got to do the tunic on the inside, which I might just brush paint that, actually. That'll just be easier. Oh, there's barely any brown on that collar. Okay. Alrighty then. Right, where is my base color? There it is. So once again, maybe very subtle wash stitch. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. But obviously, to do that, I'm gonna need to put a layer down of flat clear. Yeah, I think I will. Catch you in a bit, buddy. You look after yourself, man. Thanks very much for coming around. I really appreciate it. Stay safe, my dude. Right, so light earth. Take the magazine off. Right, you're not supposed to do this and mixing it in there thing, but I'm only doing a wee little spray. No, yeah, I know what you mean. I would, if I was you, if you want the same done as this, maybe I'd have to see if the flex cloak would fit it, because this one's obviously using the new an A&H hand, but we can work something out and see about fixing that, because that fabric coats. Hey, Ray, okay, where the bloody hell's me pot? Oh, it's there. That off. Where's my green? just do a little touch-up pass on this elbow now, and then we're gonna. We've got my colours over here. We've got the forbidden shish kebabs over there, and then what we're gonna do is, come on, brain, not braining. We're gonna put some flat clear. Oh, yeah, that'll need a bit of green. We'll put some flat clear layers down and add a little bit of some washes and stuff. But we might not get those done on stream, so you might see the end of the results of those. Because we were supposed to do 2 hours, we're on 3 hours now, but I think we've had a good run at this now, which is kind of cool. Let's have that mix in the Panzer coat. Panzer coats. Okay, let's blend that a bit. It's not too much of an issue. Before we do washes, we might be looking at. Yeah, we might need to do a tiny bit of dry brushing. The Aldoni Endor, what colour do you think I should use for the boots? I want to do my own weathering to them so they aren't all the same, because I treat particularly don't have dirt on the boots. NATO black. You want to use NATO black for the boots, because the boots that they use for them, they're kind of like jack boots. There is another word for them, I think. Begin with K. I can't remember what that is. And they're like a matte, it's more of a satin kind of color, and NATO black has a good base for them, and then you can basically add a tiny bit of gloss in some parts to give it a bit of a shine, but really dulled back, and then put some scuffs on over them. But yeah, definitely use NATO black with some like light grey washes. But there we go. That's Endor Hans coat. I think we'll do some dry brushing on the raised edges. We'll see how that goes. So, do I need a bigger brush? I mean, a bigger, flatter brush. Maybe a bigger, flatter brush. I'll have a look at that in a minute, my dude. Yes, we'll use this big flat-headed brush for doing the dry brushing, and then we'll get light earth, aka light earth. The reason why I'm doing this now is that the washes can basically knock it back once we've put the dry brushing on. I don't want to go mental with it, because it does look like it's limited to just the areas where the paint is, but it has got grime and dirt over it as well. So just hitting those raised areas a bit. So The idea is that the original jacket was spray painted, and when you look at the reference material, these creases down here have basically had the spray paint rubbed off, so they've gone to the base kind of material color. So we're just trying to emulate that a little bit. You can see how it really helps bring out those creases as well. It almost looks white, but it's not, which is good. And we've got obviously dark colors all around the bottom. So we need to just chip that paint away. Hey, Daniel. And we need to weather it so it looks like if we were to say canonically in universe that the rebel forces are so cash strapped that they are just making their own camouflage, and that they are doing essentially what it is. You would get this would happen with the uniforms, and interestingly enough, camouflage uniforms they do lose their dye over time, and they become lighter, so they end up becoming the very thing that they've sworn to destroy, which was giving the soldier away. In actual fact, there is a historical relevance to this, that many of the United States Army camouflages during World War II were removed from service because the dyes that they were using at the time, once they gotten wet, they would run out of the uniforms, and the uniforms would return to their base white color of the material. And during Operation Cobra in Normandy, the 2nd Armored Division were issued US Army HBT camos, and they were the same as the United States Marine Corps camos in terms of the camouflage pattern. And anyway, over time, they just were removed from service because the color would just run out of them, and they'd end up looking white. But everybody has this misconception; they think they looked like the opposite side, but they didn't. It was just that the color just ran out, and they just looked terrible. So, a bit of a useless bit of history trivia for you there. Not anybody asked for it. But there we go. I've got some of those camos downstairs, which, interesting enough, does connect with Star Wars, actually. The 41st Armoured Infantry Regiment of the 2nd Armored Division were, I think, the inspiration for the 41st Scouts on Kashyyyk, because the colour palette for the Scout camo, as the Kashyyyk Scouts, is almost exactly the same as the US Army Frog camo, which makes it going to make it infinitely easier when I eventually get around to doing a clone scout, because I will do one eventually. Right, I think that's kind of coming out quite nice. Let's check. Yeah, so we've got on the pockets where it's all kind of come off. Do a bit there, maybe on the collar a bit, because if the paint's here, that would rub, and that would chip the paint off a little bit. Okay, and then at the back as well, against his neck. Let's do a bit on the raised area there. With camouflage, you do a base color and then dry brushing? No. So the camouflage we did for this was we base colored it in AK Light Earth. Then we airbrushed on. First, we airbrushed on the dark green, which was Vallejo Model Air, which was yellow olive. And then once we'd done with that, we basically did a custom mix of the yellow green and about 4 micro drops of black, mixed it all together to darken it up. Then after that, the final pass that we did was basically putting the flat brown, and that was the one we've just been done now. Now we've just dry brushed the edges so that the paint looks chipped and everything. And I think I don't want to spend too long on it, but I think we're getting there. But as I think Shark was saying earlier on the stream, we are probably just going to dry brush. Do some washes on some parts to accentuate the details. But having said that, the highlights that we've done here have kind of accentuated that. So we'll see. Just do a little bit more on these sleeves because not much in the way of sleeves of the paint chipping off. Just a little bit. So we'll just go around and do that on the edge like that. But there's little bits. There's like little bits near the top. So maybe just focus on getting these creases and maybe having, where you can see like the paint. Yeah, definitely. Mostly airbrushing for this one because the camouflage that they did on the original props was airbrushed on. A lot of the camouflage / the weathering that they did on some of the costumes for the OT are just like rattle cans. If you have a look at the original Scout Trooper helmet, a lot of the original Scout Troopers, their weathering is basically just like a black spray that they've got like a rattle can black spray and just gone and sprayed it across the helmet, and then they've rubbed some of the areas either naturally or just obviously they've done it themselves, and you can kind of see how it's like kind of giving it that worn kind of look really quickly for on screen. I've got a Black Series Scout role play Scout Trooper helmet literally just dispatched today, and I'm going to basically do that with it as well. Just get the helmet, knock it back, and give some weathering to it. Right, well, we don't want to go mental with that. I think that's kind of there. Oh, that's gonna look cool, man. Right. We have such sights to see with the horrors on our desks. Every single one of us who does customizing is basically Sid from Toy Story. Or the old geezer from Toy Story 2. You make your mind up who you are. Are you Sid or the old geezer? Right. Let's do a bit of tidying up in terms of making my workspace, because you've made me think like, that's a right mess, isn't it? And you know what? It ain't wrong, lad. It's a right bleeding mess. Not as messy as somebody else's desk. Hey, Lou. Love you. It is indeed organized chaos. Right, well, we'll get some brush magic. Give that a wee bit of a soak for a minute. Look at look at the state of that. All the bleeding cotton buds we've gone through just for like this build so far. The muckiest ears in the business. Okay, so let's give that a wash. That's because your desk is filled with toothpicks and cotton swabs because you're a cowboy who's got bad ears and likes toothpicks. Obviously, clearly that's the reason why. We're all cowboys that have toothpicks to eat, just like Crosshair, and really bad ears. Obviously, has to be done. Right. This is the next bit. Can I put these gloves on now that I don't have sweaty hands? Yes, we can. The boots came out all right. I'll show you in a minute. I'll just put my gloves on. So the boots, basically went over and put like that kind of neutral leather material at the front and faded it into some grey with a bit of black in the middle, and then give some edges at the back, at the edge for the leather material, but didn't go mental with it because I wanted to like keep it so. Right, okay. So next bit we're gonna add, we've got Tamiya clear lacquer. Get the lacquer thinner, and then we'll add a thin veneer of the old clear, so we can go and do a wash, make it a wee bit dirty. Matron. You want me to cough? Well, I don't know. Bend over, sir. This, gentlemen, is your annual physical. No, I got you. I just I zoned out for a second. Right, okay, so we get our lacquer Tamiya, drip that into a cup like that. That's all right, my man. Right. Get this lacquer thinner. Put that over there. Put the lid on that. So lacquers are basically, lacquers are a different type of paint. So you've got various different types of paints in which you can use. You've obviously got water-based acrylic, oil-based lacquers. There's another one. For God's sake, I've got a book upstairs. It's right by AK, and it basically details all the different types of paints. It's just basically what different types of paints and how they're made, and they do different types of jobs. The drying time for certain types of paints, like acrylics, are like much faster. So because the drying time for acrylics are much faster, sometimes you want to have a paint that dries a lot slower so that you can manipulate it on the surface of your model. So if you're doing, I can't use that now. Okay. Start again. Yeah, you want to have your paint basically able to be moved about on the surface more, and it creates like a barrier between your paint work and the next layer you're putting on top. So if you're, for example, trying to, say, for example, paint a head, which I have this example of Moff Jared here. This one here has basically had a base lacquer down first, and then we put the base paint layer of the base skin after. And then what we do is we seal that in with a lacquer. Now, as you can tell, it makes a very smooth surface. And this very, very, very smooth surface, it almost feels like a glass-like surface on here. Now, once you've put that on, if you get a water-based acrylic, which is watered down using like X20A, you can basically put that on and the paint will move across the surface much better because it's like a gloss type surface. Whereas if it's a matte surface, you have all these microscopic like little bumps and crevices and depths to the paintwork, and thus the paint dries and doesn't maneuver around your surface as fast. So it's really good if you're trying to have like washes and you're trying to, say, in the case of faces, just apply like a red wash, and then it dries evenly across the surface, and you do yellow, red, and then blue, all that kind of stuff. And then if you're doing it for like tanks, you can have it so that you can have like a tank and then streak grime and stuff downwards, and you can manipulate it a lot easier. So a long-winded way of saying they're just a different type of paint, but they all have different uses. It's one of the things that water-based acrylics are really good, but they do have their limitations in terms of their drying time. And also, if you have like this clear surface that I'm going to try and do now, it's going to help make this wash maneuver about a bit. It's not going to completely stop it. Stop it from going everywhere, but it should help it. Yeah, exactly. There's so much that I've learned in the years of doing this and watching like model kit streams and whatnot. I'm still learning some new stuff every single year, but moving to like using lacquers and stuff has just helped massively in some areas. It's not thinned enough, I don't think. Right. That's better. We were getting spurting a minute ago. I'm still getting spurts in. You can see the only downside with using some of these, it does create a bit of a gloss surface, so you're really going to have to knock it back with some matte finish afterwards. But don't be alarmed, because we did that yesterday with this guy's neck. We had this like proper glossy, really nice glossy on the neck. And we had it glossy all around here as well. Knocked it back with a lot of high coat matte, worked just fine, and it's now back to a really nice matte finish as it once was. So don't be too worried about when that happens. You can knock it back. Right, up there, you're armless. It's weird that you can see it on the jacket now. Right, okay. So we're gonna go with what kind of wash do we want to use for this one? I think a medium grey. So we're gonna want a medium grey. And then I need a dinky brush. So this is Ammo medium grey panel line wash. Hvor is my dinky brush? Oh, that's a very dinky brush. We don't want that much of a dinky brush. Is this a dinky brush? That's a dinky brush. It is. Let's just have a watch now, so you'll be able to hopefully see. And I've got to be careful I don't knock this stuff over. So you can see it just running down that stream there. Seam even. Kind of make it out a bit better on that one. Like that. You can see how, hopefully you can see how it's going into those little crevices there. Like that. Really helps, makes these little details in the sculpts that I've done really pop. These will be on the Etsy store once I've done the big reveal for people who've not watched the stream. But can you see how we've got this crease line here? Those washes in. The glossy, smooth surface really helps all that flow around and down. One thing as well, when you're doing washes, don't use just acrylic paint thin down. Get dedicated washes, buy them, they're well worth their money. you'll have such a better experience than anything that you can do with homemade washes. For years I was always trying to make my own, and I just personally think just go hassle free and buy the pre-made washes, because they are really good. There's plenty to choose from as well. When I did the Return of the Jedi Stormtrooper, that benefited massively from having a wash of like a light grey on the white armor. Really knocked it back. Any Rex? Not sure what you mean there, buddy. Do you mean like any recordings of it? It is really good stuff, mate. I think I have. If you're returning and referring to recordings of it, there's like a music video that I did of it should be under the YouTubes for like on Instagram as a reel. Oh, recommendations. Yeah, ammo panel line stuff's really good. AK's starting to do some really good washes too. I think I might need to get a bit more drastic with some of the wash that I'm doing with this, because I think it could be a bit darker. So we'll see. I think I'm gonna go in with a darker wash on that actually. That has worked. Like, I am happy with that, but I want the details to pop a bit more. So medium grey might not be the way forward. You're actually better off using a craft knife. I don't like using a Dremel. I think Dremels are too much of a problem for having mistakes, where as opposed to you can be more precise with your craft knife. Alright, let's try for stone grey for black. Maybe give this a bit of a blast of hot air at the minute. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to go in with a darker colour on that one. Let's give it a good shake, actually. Oh yes, it's much, much better. That's much better. Much better. Hopefully you can see like how that wash has got in there. Right, okay. Let's give that a bit of a wash there. And then that'll have to dry. Right, well, there we go. Let's put that there for now. I'm just wiping off some stuff there now. And there we go. We've got the washes sitting in the recessed areas. Some on there. The excess. We'll need to wipe that off. Where's my cut gloves? Just using water just to maneuver that about a bit. Okay. Right, there we go. Right, well, I think I'm going to have to call it there, gentlemen, because we've been going for, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, we've been going for 3 hours and 40 minutes. It's been really good. We've got quite a lot done today. I'm probably going to get the rest of the stuff done off stream quite easily. I'll end up, what I'll do next, like I said, is do the black bits, get the matte varnishes done, and then it will be off to be completed and all done and dusted. And then it will be a case of check out Instagram for the final photo reveals for its photo shoot, which will probably be tomorrow. And then that way we can get him done some photo shoots with some Rebel Endor troopers that are right with him. So thank you so much for everyone for coming around. I think this has been, definitely one of my favorite streams so far. It's been really nice just chatting for everyone. Really appreciate you all just coming on, hanging out, and just shooting the shit whilst we're just doing stuff together. It's kind of cool. It's almost like having like a little virtual model club together. So thank you very much for all coming along and having a good chat whilst we build some stuff together. And I'll have to let you know when the next build will be. I've got some stuff for Jason still to do, the guy who's asked me to do this. We've got some things that I need to do for Clone Custom Troopers at some point. But in terms of actual figure builds, I'll have to let you know, see what it is. It could be the KOTOR droid. I don't know. I kind of want the KOTOR droid to be one that I actually get around to doing, and that one, if I do that one, it'll be lots of gloss black, lots of like chromes, that kind of stuff. So maybe we do that one. Actually, maybe that'll be something different, something completely different, and where we have to try and be somewhat clean with that build and everything. So thank you very much, gentlemen. Everybody should say thank you very much, everyone, for coming along, and I'll see you on the next one. Everyone, thanks very much. See ya.